The representative from Teach for Nigeria is not here this evening. Please, let's watch the second video. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Folawe Omikunle, and I am the CEO of Teach for Nigeria. Congratulations, Olaolu, on your special day. Congratulations on your book launch. Unfortunately, I cannot be there today as I've literally just arrived in Bogota to attend the Teach for All Global Conference. But be rest assured that I'm there with you in spirit. Olaolu, I'd like to say a big thank you to you for thinking about Teach for Nigeria on this special occasion and thinking to dedicate today to fundraising for Teach for Nigeria. Your support, your commitment, and your generosity will go a long way towards ensuring that we achieve our goals for this year. It will go a long way to ensuring that we're able to support our inaugural cohort of 46 fellows who have been placed in 25 schools across Lagos and Ogun State. And Olaolu, I'm just so thankful for your support. Thank you, Ndidi, for being an amazing ambassador, for lending your voice towards this fight against educational inequity in Nigeria. And to everyone who has gathered there today to celebrate and to support Olaolu, I say a big thank you for making this possible. Thank you for making this a reality. And thank you for joining the new group of champions for Teach for Nigeria. And thank you for believing in our work. Olaolu, I wish you a very, very special day. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Let's put our hands together and appreciate Teach for Nigeria.
Positively. Technically, I could say we didn't have schools. Standard schools that you can call a school by world standard, we didn't have.
In the last few years, there is total neglect of the education sector.
No equipment, no teachers, they're not teaching them. No classroom, the school no good, no good.
They don't have chair, they don't have good teachers. The teachers, because they are not well paid, they go out to go and fend for themselves.
If we continue in the rut, you give maybe ₦1 million to education, you chop 900,000 of it. You are not going to get anywhere.
Those who could afford it have taken their children to private schools. Those who could not, the poorest of the poor, have given up. They continue to send their children to these public schools where they have no hope of learning anything at all.
Typical rural schools in a poor community. And I want to see that as the challenge. How do you make that type of school effective?
When every child in Nigeria have received quality and excellent education, by then Nigeria may become a developed country.
Because every child is special, every child is gifted, every child has right to education, and we should give them that passport because it's their opportunity to change their world.
When I grow up, I want to become a doctor. I want to become a doctor because my mom's friend was sick and I couldn't help her. When I become a doctor, I'll take care of the people in my community.
If we do not do something about the state of our education, we are preparing for a serious problem, which will affect our children, affect everybody. And that's why I think that the project to educate Nigerian children should become the project of all.
The challenges facing the education system in Nigeria is enormous. I like to use a jigsaw puzzle to analyze the educational system. So many pieces to it, from infrastructure to quality of teaching, to funding, to management. It's such a systemic problem that deserves a systemic approach to solving it. What Teach for Nigeria is trying to address is really to raise leaders who are leading the change in every sector, in every component of that puzzle, but with a singularity of vision, all driving towards that same day when every Nigerian child receives an excellent education.
Teach for Nigeria. I think being based here in this country, I think us and our children probably take the education they're receiving for granted. I do a lot of work in schools, and you hear students complaining all the time. And I was an individual, I didn't do very well in school. In fact, I was a bit of a bad boy, so to speak. So I eventually ended up going to 5 secondary schools. I was expelled 4 times. Yeah, see? But God has done good things, so it's okay. But after my parents had tried with a few schools here, they ended up sending me back home to Nigeria. And then by the time I was in JS3, I had 24-year-olds in my class. SS1, I had 2 married men that it was so important for them to get an education. By the time I was, and as you know in Nigeria, you can repeat and repeat, you know. So repeat was my middle name at that time because I just couldn't pass English and maths and science. But you would see people do everything within their power, irrespective of their age. Some of them already had successful businesses. And I remember one day when the principal was flogging a man who was married with 3 children, because on visiting days, his children would come and visit him. But he was so determined to get that education at all costs. And because those of us here, it's, you know, you take the computer for granted, you take the light for granted, the water for granted, the library for granted, that we don't understand that some people are still using lanterns and candles to get that same education. So when you pick up a few copies of the book tonight, 1 book is going for £13, 2 for 20, but take 1 for somebody else. If you're touched by what you're hearing this evening, I definitely will be taking a couple of copies because the information in it is powerful, it's critical, it's key. As we